in agriculture, if we need to stabilize the economy, two things need to happen. Inflation needs to be tackled. The governor of Central Bank has said what is being done. He has announced his targets for inflation, and the fact that inflation targeting will be a key element of the strategy, which is right because they're in charge of the targets of monetary policy. But in addition to that, when you look at inflation, a large element is food inflation. In fact, food inflation accounts for 33% of the consumer price index. So when you attack food production, raise food production, you bring down the price of food, you bring down inflation, you get a chance to bring down interest rates, and there lies the road to investment.
This challenge does not come unanticipated. We reckon with global challenges that are impacting us domestically, and we reckon with the transitional nature of some of the measures that we have taken. And we know that they will have some impacts. But there are compensatory mechanisms. One of it is to support domestic production, particularly one that we are most familiar with, 36 states of Nigeria plus FCT. Agricultural production is a major component, and as well as other activities for which infrastructure for which funding has been generously provided in the budget.
We are aware that the twin challenges of inflation and exchange rate depreciation on our economy are daunting. However, they are not insurmountable. Monetary policy actions are sometimes inhibited by transmission lags. Nonetheless, it is expected that the policy measures implemented by the bank will permeate the economy in the short to medium term.
Just 1 more minute, sir.
Inflation pressures may persist, albeit temporarily, but are expected to moderate significantly by the fourth quarter of 2024. Exchange rate pressures are also expected to reduce with a smooth functioning of foreign exchange market. We are committed to implementing policies that will ensure a stable macroeconomic environment and guarantee improved livelihoods for all Nigerians.
We have the target for this year, based on the approved budget, to collect 19.2 trillion, which is 7.2 trillion, more than what we actually collected this year. And given this economic condition and with the promise of Mr. President that we are not going to introduce additional tax, we are not going to increase any tax, considering the situation and welfare of our people, that what we need to do is to re-strategize within to make sure that we bring more people into tax net. So without increasing the tax rate, that will be able to meet the targets.
I want to know what strategy is being adopted to expand the tax net, to encourage and facilitate the inclusion of previously untaxed sectors, and while ensuring that you have a fair and equitable taxation system that does not disproportionately burden the specific sectors or individuals.
What specific measures or incentives is the government considering raising awareness and educating the public about the importance of tax compliance? And how does the government plan to cultivate a culture of voluntary payment of tax among the Nigerian populace?
To know what you're planning to do, or if you have it in plan, tax exchange. Because I'm aware that there was a time we were talking of tax credits for infrastructure. So I don't know if you are in talks with our counterparts in works to see if people could deploy their tax equivalent to infrastructure and thereafter reconcile with the FIRS.
Bearing in mind the technological infrastructure in place in the area of revenue collection, what do you think, in your own understanding of revenue collection process, using advanced technology, inhibiting the proper revenue collections in the country, And which measures do you put in place or do you have in place to ensure proper monitoring, tracking, and reporting system of revenue inflows?
It's the demands of those constituents. And those constituents are Nigerians. If we can take care of the constituents in 360 federal constituencies, we have taken care of Nigeria. Those in support of this say aye. Those against say nay. They are not here because we are real Nigerians who want intervention in our federal constituency. So I just wanted to push that out. Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning put us on the priority list. Minister of Finance, I hope he's listening, because when it comes to funding, please ensure that that is taken care of. And this thing I said deserves a gavel. Let me ask this again. Those in support of what I say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Relationship between us and other revenue collecting agency. As I've stated earlier, that we are premier revenue collection agency, and that is our role. So with custom and the MASA, other collecting agencies, the proposal we have, by God's grace, which we will do, is to have proper integration. We are not collapsing any revenue agency to any of our own. So, but we have integration that we can, that will make transparency possible. For example, there is one project Honorable Minister is leading now, which is a national single window. This one will have for import, export, and also for port community, so that we have only one point of contact for data. So when you have that, so when we have that, the collaboration between us and all other revenue generating or collecting agencies will be proper. So what we focus on is the project that we have that we call Data for Taxes. It's just to have one simple, single point to get all the data of all our taxpayers, both for corporate and for individual. So as to the relationship between the state government, fortunately, I double as the chairman of Joint Tax Board, which also oversee or work in collaboration with the state internal revenue. And the way our law is structured, you know, all personal income taxes is collected by the state, but corporate and all other taxes we collect. So we will continue in developing capacity for state internal revenue agencies, because the problem you have there is that there is no enhanced capacity within the state to actually collect what belongs to them. One of the new focus of Joint Tax Board is to develop that collaboration, because most of us here stay in Abuja. If you look at our residency, it is to state, but how many of us actually our dividend, the withholding tax from dividend and everything is being remitted to state because they lack the capacity. So we are putting an arrangement together between us and the state through Joint Tax Board to work and have this information sharing without compromising the confidentiality of the taxpayer.